Will Boba Fett be making an appearance in the new Star Wars series, The Mandalorian? That's a question we're going to attempt to tackle in this video today, and we're also featuring your opinions on this hot topic as well, because a lot of people are talking about this in the Star Wars community now that we're in 2019, and now that Mandalorian is right around the corner. Because if you don't know, The Mandalorian has been in full production and will be debuting alongside Disney's new streaming service, which should be releasing later this year. So let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk about The Mandalorian, and let's talk about if Boba Fett will be making an appearance or not. And we're going to first dive into some interesting details about how Disney showed a lot of interest in Boba Fett a while back, because yes, a Boba Fett movie was in the works according to Collider and many of the industry leaders that report on this stuff. So let's take a look at that first. So Collider reported this a while back. They said the Boba Fett project, was in development at Lucasfilm since 2013, and according to Entertainment Weekly, they were planning on announcing that Josh Trank was planning to direct a film back in April of 2015 and had even prepared a presentation for Star Wars Celebration. However, that was all canceled when rumors swirled around Trank's disastrous Fantastic Four reboot and reports of his behavior on set. So the project was scuttled, but then came to the surface once again when there was word that James Mangold of Logan might helm a Boba Fett movie. But then we heard confirmation that the Boba Fett movie was officially dead. So that was of course sad news. They then posted this. They said, that a reporter by the name of Eric Weber was attending a special screening of Black Panther, and then that reporter says that Kathleen Kennedy confirmed to him that the Boba Fett movie was dead. So, that was a little bit ago. So just to give you some backstory, Disney and Lucasfilm, they were kind of showing interest in Boba Fett, bringing him back to life, if you will, on the big screen. But of course, it does not look like that happened. Now, will we ever see a Boba Fett standalone movie in the future? That has yet to be seen. But we're going to tackle the question, will Boba Fett make some sort of appearance in The Mandalorian? Will that happen? So we're going to take a look at your comments on this, because we posted on our social media and asked you guys what you thought about this. So let's take a look at the first comment, which is from this fan right here, Not a Muggle, who says, "To be honest, I think Boba is the Mandalorian. I know Boba isn't from the line of the Mandalorians, but still, something in the Aftermath trilogy books hinted to Boba being alive on Tatooine. In the book, a worn-down Beskar armor set was up for being sold." So that's very interesting. Now, we're going to tackle the first thing that was said there about Boba possibly being the Mandalorian. I can tell you guys right now that this has immediately been debunked by Jon Favreau himself. Jon Favreau, of course, is the creator of the Mandalorian series. And Jon Favreau posted this on his Twitter that says, "After the stories of Jango and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges in the Star Wars universe." So right there, right in the first sentence, we already debunked the fact that the Mandalorian is not Boba Fett, because he already confirms that the Mandalorian is another warrior that has emerged besides Jango and Boba Fett. So right there, that has been debunked. The Mandalorian is not Boba Fett. Now, we're going to also take a look at the second detail there, the fact that the Aftermath book may have hinted at Boba Fett surviving the Sarlacc pit. So this is what was posted right here by IG, and they said, "Okay, the book Aftermath doesn't 100% say the armor belongs to Boba Fett, but it's super strongly implied. In a sandcrawler on Tatooine, a stranger and a lawman discover the Jawa's secret stash of goodies. Imperial weapons, parts of a luxury sail barge, and a complete set of Mandalorian battle armor. And then it goes on to say this, which is very interesting. It says, the armor is pitted and picked, as if with some kind of acid, been through hell and back. And then IGN goes on to say, we last saw Boba Fett tumbling into the Sarlacc pit's mouth in Return of the Jedi, and according to Jabba via C-3PO, the Sarlacc slowly digests its food over 1,000 years. If Boba Fett escaped that terrible fate, or if someone else retrieved the armor later, either scenario would explain the set's rough condition. So that's very interesting there. So according to the book Aftermath, there was some interesting armor discovered. Do you guys think this was Boba Fett's armor? And if so, what do you think happened to Boba Fett? Do you think he's really dead? Or do you think Disney may be teasing his return? Now, we're going to take a look at this comment on Twitter by Jordan, who says, it would be cool to see, but it all depends when The Mandalorian is set. If not in appearance, then at the very least, he'd be mentioned. Who knows, maybe even Sabine might be mentioned as well. Again, it all depends on where The Mandalorian is set in the timeline. And to answer that question, we have concrete information on when The Mandalorian is set. So it's set after Return of the Jedi, but more specifically, Polygon revealed it will be set 3 years after the end of Return of the Jedi. So we do now know that it's, pretty much close to when, Boba Fett fell into the Sarlacc pit. So if he were to appear, it would make sense because it's so close after he fell into that Sarlacc pit. So what do you guys think once again about that? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, we go on to the comment by SplitScreen, who says, I'd like to see some sort of appearance from Boba. Even a cameo appearance would be great, to be honest. We could potentially get some sort of reference to him at the very least. Maybe the main character knew of Boba and was inspired by him. That would be very interesting, and I think that could be a possibility because, again, if we go back to what Jon Favreau posted about The Mandalorian, it says, after the stories of Jango and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges in the Star Wars universe. So they've already referenced to Boba Fett and even Jango Fett right from the start. So maybe they'll keep on continuing this theme in the Mandalorian series. We'll have to see. But guys, what do you want to see? Let me know. What would you guys want to see? Now, SW Hollow Lore says this. They said, I think it's a possibility, but I think an appearance of a helmet or Boba's armor is more likely. We've seen Mandalorian armor in the background before, example, Solo: A Star Wars Story, so I think that is more likely. He then goes on to say, I think if we saw Boba escape the Sarlacc, that would be a better fit for a standalone movie or comic. So that's a very interesting perspective as well. Do you think, Boba Fett still deserves his own standalone movie or series? Let me know what you guys think about that as well. Then finally, let's wrap it up with this comment by the JMAZA. They say, his name will be mentioned by a bounty hunter, IG-88, or Bosk, and somehow, some way, the Mandalorian will find Boba's helmet in a shop and will see a man come out of the shadows, and the episode will end. He will end up being a random dude who found the helmet near the pit. So I hope that doesn't happen because honestly, that type of buildup would be disappointing. Of course, it sounds like they're just being sarcastic there. But yeah, let me know, what do you guys think about all of this now that we've talked about, all of the articles, all of your comments on this? What do you guys make of all of this? Do you think Boba Fett will eventually show himself either in The Mandalorian or a standalone series or maybe a standalone movie? Post all of your comments in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe for more Mandalorian news right here at the Star Wars headquarters. I'll see you guys next time, and may the Force be with you always. Wow.